Welcome to the Explainer. So, look around. You literally can't go anywhere right now without bumping into the term artificial intelligence, right? I mean, it's in our pockets, it's in our cars, it's practically taking over our workspaces. But honestly, with all the crazy noise and marketing hype out there, it's super easy to lose track of what this technology actually does. So today, we're going to completely strip away the sci-fi tropes and demystify what AI really is. Let me ask you a serious question. Is your coffee maker secretly a genius? Think about it. We are totally surrounded by devices that claim to be smart. But does sticking a digital timer on something automatically mean it's using artificial intelligence? Well, not quite. Okay, to solve this mystery of what AI actually is, here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the AI identity crisis. Then we'll compare fixed automation versus AI, see how machine learning adapts, break down narrow, general, and generative AI, and finally wrap up with why human judgment matters. Let's jump right into part one, the AI identity crisis, and finding AI in everyday life. You know, until very recently, hearing artificial intelligence probably conjured up these wild images straight out of a movie. Robots, fully self-driving cars, giant glowing supercomputers. But in reality, AI has just been working quietly in the background of our normal daily lives. Unlocking your phone with your face, using a navigation app to dodge terrible traffic, letting a streaming platform pick your next binge watch, or just relying on your email to catch that annoying spam. We've all been using AI all day without even thinking about it. It doesn't always look like some futuristic glowing chatbot. Moving on to part two, fixed automation versus AI, and how to spot the actual difference. This brings us to the ultimate litmus test. How do you spot the difference between a dumb system that just follows rules and one that's actually smart? Think about fixed automation first, like an alarm ringing at exactly 7 a.m. or your coffee maker brewing at 6:30 a.m. That system is just blindly following a hard-coded if this, then that rule. It's automatic, sure, but it is definitely not intelligent. True artificial intelligence, on the other hand, is probabilistic. So when your phone suddenly suggests you leave 10 minutes early for work, it isn't following a fixed timer. It actually analyzed real-time traffic data, recognized a pattern, and made a prediction based on conditions that are actively changing. That shift right there, from fixed automation to AI, is literally the massive leap from systems that just do exactly what they're told to systems that infer what needs to be done based on the data they see. Which perfectly leads us into part three, how machine learning adapts, moving beyond fixed rules. So, the real engine powering all this adaptive behavior is called machine learning. Picture this. Instead of a programmer sitting down and painstakingly writing out one exact instruction for every possible scenario, which, let's face it, is basically impossible in the real world, the system is just fed massive amounts of data. It then identifies complex patterns within that data to make decisions entirely on its own. It learns from examples, not rigid instructions. Think about traditional programming. You put in rules and data, and you get answers. But with machine learning, it's wild. You put in data and the correct answers, and the system actually learns the rules. That is an absolutely massive paradigm shift. To really see why machine learning is an absolute game changer, just look at your spam folder. It is virtually impossible to write one perfect, fixed rule to catch spam emails. Why? Because the scammers constantly change their tactics. The wording changes, the senders change, the tricks evolve every single day. A fixed rule system completely falls apart here because it only knows exactly what it was programmed to look for yesterday. But an adaptive machine learning system, it looks at millions of historical examples, learns the hidden, probabilistic patterns of what suspicious behavior actually looks like, and adapts to catch the spam even when the scam is brand new. All right, part four, narrow, general, and generative, the flavors of AI. Okay. Once you grasp how it actually adapts, you can categorize AI into three distinct flavors. First up is narrow AI. This is the stuff we use today. These are systems designed for highly specialized tasks, like that traffic prediction we talked about, or your Spotify music recommendations. It is excellent at its specific job, but it has zero capabilities beyond that. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum is general AI. Now, this is a theoretical future concept in AI with broad human-like cognitive ability across many different domains. And to be clear, we are absolutely not there yet. But sitting right in the middle in its own unique space is generative AI. This flavor focuses purely on synthesizing data to create entirely new content, like text, images, or audio. For example, if you go into an AI tool right now and type the prompt, generate a picture of a raccoon running a coffee shop, and it spits out a little furry barista, that is generative AI at work. It takes the patterns it learned about raccoons, espresso machines, and aprons and mashes them up into a brand new piece of media. It's super visible and incredibly impressive. But here's the key takeaway you've got to remember. Many generative AI systems are actually still technically narrow AI. Why? Because their intelligence is strictly limited to generating that specific type of content. Sure, they can paint you a digital masterpiece, but they cannot balance your checkbook or drive your car to the store. And that brings us to our final section, Part 5, Why Human Judgment Matters and AI's Blind Spots. Look, despite all these amazing capabilities, from catching your spam to generating raccoons serving up lattes, we absolutely have to understand where AI falls short. These systems have some severe blind spots. They can hallucinate and just completely make up inaccurate information out of thin air. They can also reflect statistical flaws or biases that are hidden deep within their training datasets, just as a mechanical output of the flawed data they ingested. And honestly, most importantly, they just don't have actual human context. Just because a chatbot spits out a highly polished, super confident-sounding response does not mean it is factually correct. It's often said that AI can generate a very convincing response while still having massive limitations. And this is exactly why true AI literacy isn't just knowing how to type a clever prompt. It's knowing how to think critically about what it gives you back. Because of these inherent blind spots, your human judgment remains the absolute ultimate, most irreplaceable tool in your entire tech toolkit. We have to be the ones to verify, add context, and apply our own lived experiences to whatever information these systems produce. So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge. I want you to think about one piece of technology you use every single day. Maybe your car, your workflow software, or yeah, even your coffee maker. Ask yourself, is it truly AI? Is it just fixed automation? Or is it a combination of both? Is it just following a hard-coded instruction? Or is it actually interpreting data and adapting on the fly? Honestly, figuring that out is the first huge step to truly mastering the technology that completely surrounds us. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking those questions.